今天这期视频就是分享轮椅出门会遇到的各种障碍。
Imagine a world where a simple trip to the mall becomes a dangerous obstacle course, or a designated safety path leads you directly into a river. For millions of people with disabilities in China, this isn't a hypothetical. It's their daily reality. From stone pillars blocking wheelchairs to death trap paths for the blind, we're diving deep into the systemic neglect and the shocking indifference that keep an entire community hidden from public life. Welcome to China Uncovered, where we pull back the curtain on the stories the authorities would rather keep silent. Today, we're exploring the physical and social barriers that define life for the vulnerable under the CCP's rule. Let's get into it. In today's clip, I'm exploring the various hurdles wheelchair users encounter when heading out. For routine shopping, big malls are typically the most accessible spots. However, after exiting the subway, I noticed many zones only provide escalators going straight into the center. Consequently, I had to leave the station, head up to street level, and go in through the front entrance. It shows how even accessible designs can fail to provide a seamless journey for everyone. Once I reached the street, though, I realized the mall's entryway was obstructed by these stone bollards. My wheelchair couldn't pass through, so I was forced to keep moving to search for an actual accessible entrance. A path that should have been perfectly smooth was basically ruined by all these man-made barriers. It's incredibly frustrating when you're just trying to get from point A to point B and find the way blocked by poor urban planning decisions. You can see it on my face. I was completely stunned. After circling the entire building, I still couldn't get inside because of those stone pillars. They installed these barricades everywhere just to stop electric bikes and scooters from parking out front. It's honestly so thoughtless. They prioritize keeping bikes away over ensuring that people with mobility issues can actually enter the building. I just wanted to shop, but I ended up taking a massive detour around the mall and still couldn't enter. Finally, I had to figure out a workaround. I parked my wheelchair near a stone pillar and had my friend lift the chair over for me. At a different mall, they ran into the exact same hurdle. Luckily, a staff member was there that day and moved a stone pillar so the wheelchair could get through. Even more alarming, the ramps labeled as accessible were totally blocked off. The only intended accessible path was a tiny gap between pillars that pushed them right into the vehicle lane. This is the supposed accessible route. Over here, I'm forced into a massive detour, and I'm literally on someone else's driveway. To make things worse, the drivers behind me are honking, urging me to move. It's stressful and humiliating to be treated like an obstacle in a space that should be safe. Returning a few days later, they noticed a new winding track between the stone pillars at the entrance. Sadly, the path was still incredibly narrow. The vlogger pointed out that accessibility isn't just a perk, it is a fundamental human right. While physical hurdles like stairs cause the main travel stress for wheelchair users, for the blind, the true issue is obstructed tactile paving. Watch your step. What kind of nonsense is this, blocking the blind path? The reason blind individuals aren't walking here is that the entire tactile path is obstructed. It isn't that they don't want to go out. It's because they are genuinely terrified. Honestly, I am scared as well. You snapped my white cane, and now you're calling me dim-witted. Your stick got caught in my scooter wheel. But I am blind. Return my cane, or I won't be able to get home. In December 2025, a national report highlighted a troubling incident in Xi'an. A blind man was walking on the tactile paving when a delivery rider on an e-bike passed him from behind. The bikes will hit the man's white cane, knocking it away and causing the rider to tumble. After standing up, the rider accused him of intentionally tripping the bike. The man explained he couldn't see, but the rider ignored him and tried to leave. Bystanders found the cane, which was already broken. When officers arrived, the rider insisted the man purposely placed the cane in the wheel's path. He never admitted riding on the tactile paving, visibly shaken and crying. The blind man told police this was the second time his cane was damaged and he couldn't get home alone. Many netizens expressed frustration, questioning how society can claim to care for the disabled when their safety is ignored. A few days ago, in early 2025, I watched a video that truly broke my heart. In it, a blind person is out alone, relying only on tactile paving. But what should be a clear path is blocked by e-bikes, clutter, and stone pillars. With every step, his cane strikes an obstacle, and he humbly apologizes every single time. He says sorry to bikes blocking his way and to the poorly designed path. He apologizes for bothering the world of sighted people just by being there. Actually, I saw this creator's video 6 months ago, and that one made me even more furious. Back then, his cane touched a delivery rider's bike wheel. He was yelled at in public and even accused of faking his blindness. He wept from frustration, repeatedly showing his disability certificate and yelling, "I'm really blind." Even when police showed up, onlookers coldly remarked, "Can't see but still out here selling flowers." He choked up and said, "I just wanted to earn some money." Did he do anything wrong? He is trying his best to survive, yet he faces constant danger and malice. During her 6-month exchange in Taiwan, the vlogger said what impressed her most was seeing wheelchair users traveling independently across every city. Whenever they took a bus, the driver would step out and set up a ramp to help them. Nobody stared or made a scene. Everything felt perfectly natural. The passenger would softly thank the driver and go on. It was just a normal moment of daily life. Not special treatment, but true inclusion. Placing a barrier on a crosswalk is the most absurd design ever. In April 2025, a video showed police in Yinchuan installing U-shaped barriers right across pedestrian crossings, effectively blocking strollers and wheelchairs. The footage showed a line of barriers in the middle, forcing people to climb over them. Netizens reacted sharply, warning that people with poor vision could easily trip at night. Many called the design lethal in fog or low visibility. What we see today at this bus stop is a public ad saying, "Help the disabled, walk together without obstacles." The irony here is quite glaring. Look at this tactile path. A garbage bin is blocking it. Then there's a bus sign and a utility pole. Such examples of local authorities ignoring public needs and choosing looks over function remain common. Focusing on high-profile projects often leads to impractical designs that create hardships for citizens. In Chuanzhou, there's a stretch of tactile path built right at the road's edge. And if you look, the drop-off beneath it is quite high. Is Chuanzhou directing them into a ditch? How did this construction pass inspection? Another path along the Jialing River in Chongqing ends abruptly at the water with no warning signs. A blind person following it could walk straight into the river. Netizens condemned it as a death trap path and demanded repairs. Recently, Taiwanese singer Zhen Tsuhua posted about his experience at Shenzhen Airport, calling the treatment of disabled passengers inhumane. Zhen later released a video to clarify that the issue was the actions of an elevator operator that left him feeling deeply humiliated. When the boarding lift reached the airplane door, its platform was 25 centimeters too high. Zhen asked the operator to raise it slightly, but they refused, citing questionable regulations. Due to the height and missing rails, Deng had to pull himself aboard using his arms and cane in a dangerous move. Any slip could have caused a bad fall. He stressed that the equipment was excellent, but the fault was the operator's indifference. He concluded the issue was the use of a rule as an excuse to create difficulty. Under CCP rule, even as the economy grows, vulnerable groups get minimal attention. In contrast, Japan shows exceptional care for the disabled. Today, 85% of Tokyo stations have ramps and low-floor cars. Let me show you the blind path setup in Japan. No e-bikes are blocking it, and it doesn't lead to a cliff. It's incredibly clean. You see clearly how to walk straight and how to reach the overpass. The path is meant to help visually impaired people reach their destination, not just for show. Many believe this world doesn't only belong to the able-bodied. Everyone experiences periods of limited mobility at some point. People with disabilities have the same right as anyone to walk in the sun and enjoy parks. A society's true level of civilization is not measured by skyscrapers, but by whether every wheelchair can travel with dignity. In China, however, they are rarely visible on city streets because most cities lack properly maintained tactile paving. Most subway stations lack elevators, and many mall entrances have stone pillars that block wheelchairs. In typical societies, empathy exists towards the disabled, and governments encourage charities to help. In China, however, the government hinders charity groups while trying to hide these groups through media control. This reveals a core difference in regimes, whether they lean towards goodness or corruption. It's a matter of fundamental values. The true measure of a society isn't found in its towering skyscrapers or its economic statistics, but in how it treats those who need the most support. As we've seen today, the The barriers in China aren't just made of stone and steel. They are built on a foundation of systemic indifference. If you found this report eye-opening, please give this video a like and share it to help raise awareness for those whose voices are being silenced. What are your thoughts on the accessibility issues we covered today? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you want to stay informed with more deep dives into the stories the world needs to hear, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell for China Uncovered. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.